The locusts came like an unrelenting army, devouring everything in their path. I stood amidst the desolation, the air heavy with silence, broken only by the groans of my people. Vineyards lay bare, fields reduced to dust. The grain and wine offerings ceased at the temple, and with them, it seemed, the favor of the Lord. I, Joel, son of Pethuel, felt the weight of my calling. The devastation before us was not mere misfortune. It was the hand of God, a wake-up call to a slumbering nation. Hear this, you elders. Listen, all who live in the land, I cried, my voice trembling with urgency. Has anything like this ever happened in your days or in the days of your ancestors? The land's ruin mirrored the spiritual decay of my people. The locusts were but a shadow of what was to come, a greater judgment, the day of the Lord. I saw it in my spirit, a day of darkness and gloom, of fire consuming everything in its path. Who could endure it? Yet even in judgment, I felt the heartbeat of God's mercy. Even now, I proclaimed, return to me with all your heart, with fasting, weeping, and mourning. I knew the Lord to be gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in love. He longed to relent from sending calamity. But it wasn't outward rituals he desired. It was torn hearts, not torn garments. I called the priests to lament, the elders to gather, and the people to cry out. The temple must once again be filled with the prayers of the repentant. The Lord promised restoration, but it required our humility. He would repay the years the locusts had eaten. He would pour out his spirit on all flesh. Sons and daughters would prophesy, old men would dream dreams, young men would see visions. And I saw beyond my time to a future when the Spirit of God would not be confined to Israel, but would flood the earth. In those days, everyone who called on the name of the Lord would be saved. Judgment and mercy would walk hand in hand, dividing the faithful from the unfaithful, but offering life to all who turn to him. Today, Joel's message resounds louder than ever. The world reels from calamities, natural and man-made, and the signs of the times grow more urgent. The day of the Lord is near. It is not merely a historical event, but a spiritual reality unfolding. Like in my day, God calls for repentance. He calls us to rend our hearts, to turn from sin, and to seek him with urgency. His Spirit, promised to all, empowers us to live in holiness and boldness. Hear my cry across the centuries. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. That valley is where we stand today, each of us called to choose. The Lord is near to all who call on him, but the time is short. Let us seek him while he may be found. For though the locusts have ravaged, though judgment looms, restoration and salvation await all who return to the Lord.